Hey everybody, I'm getting some really excellent questions in my email about this problem on your homework. So I wrote some equations that are different from the ones you have, but I wanted to show you the general process. What I'm trying to do here is just get you guys some organization tools so you can start this process of equation solving. I really didn't mean for it to be even more confusing, but you can imagine this T-chart I've been drawing in class also exists here. What we have on one side is one part of our equation, and on the other side is the other part of our equation. And so for these examples, this includes the distributive property. So what I'm saying is in this step 1, I'm asking you to use the distributive property to rewrite the equation. So what you would do is you would take, like for this first example, you take 2 and you multiply it to the x, and you multiply it to that -5. So you're going to end up with 2x minus 10 equals 20. That's it. That's all I mean by that. And then in step 2, I'm saying undo addition and subtraction. And we've been talking about this as we are using the additive inverse here, because for our goal of isolating our variable, we want to get rid of that constant. We don't want it there. So in order to get rid of a constant, we need to turn it into a 0 using math. So what turns -10 into 0? Adding 10 to it. So if I add 10, then you can see that this -10 and this +10 makes a big 0. But if I add 10 to that side of the equation, remember we're trying to keep our scale balanced, that means I have to add 10 over here as well. So then I'm saying rewrite your equation. So we just made a 0 there. So all that's left over here is 2x equals 20 plus 10. So that equals 30. Now I'm saying undo your multiplication or division. What I mean by this undoing is, again, we are trying to get to that goal of 1 positive x. And so since what we have here is x multiplied by 2, we need to use our inverse operation, the opposite of multiplication. So anything divided by itself equals 1. So in order to get 1x there, we're going to divide this by 2. If we divide one side of an equation by 2, we have to divide the other side of the equation by 2. We have to keep things equal. And 2x's divided by 2 will give you 1x. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So x equals 15. I'm going to run another example using the exact same process. So step 1, we're going to use the distributive property. So I have 4 times 2x and 4 times a positive 5. So we end up with 8x plus 20, and that all equals 36. Step 2, let's use that additive inverse and let's undo this addition. We want a 0 pair there. So to make that 20 a 0, we're going to subtract 20. If we subtract 20 here, we have to subtract 20 on both sides. So what we just did by subtracting that 20 is we turned that into a 0. So what we are left with is 8x equals 16. Now we need to do some division. We need to undo our multiplication, right? Right here we have 8. We can imagine that's 8 times x. So if we just want 1x, anything divided by itself is 1. So let's divide it by 8. And let's divide our 16 by 8 also. 8x's divided into 8 groups is 1x. 16 divided by 8 is 2.